This is John Paul Rai. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, doing pop culture, celebrity news, stuff like that. Depp vs. Heard, of course, and I'm following the trial the best I can here from Tokyo. I want to talk about a few specific things at once because this new testimony that Johnny gives, there's a lot to unpack here. But there's one thing he said that I think Amber's lawyer Rottenborn, if I'm saying that correctly, and by the way, I really have trouble listening to this guy talk for so long. What he does is he tries to twist something into something with a different meaning. What I mean is, when Johnny says it's going to be a bloodbath, I think he wants everybody to get the image and the feeling of an actual bloodbath. But it's just kind of a phrase for saying things are going to go wrong, things don't always work out right, and it's just going to be hectic, it's going to be turmoil, it's going to be really bad, basically. There's a bunch of different ways you could explain what a bloodbath is, but I think that Rottenborn wanted to play that specific part of the clip to get it in your head, this terrible, terrible image when, he's kind of taking advantage of the phrase, so to speak. Anyway, let's listen to the clip right now.
Walking away is necessary. Is necessary, especially between you and I. It is of utmost importance because the next move, if I don't walk away or just go out for a little while, it's just gonna be a bloodbath. Like it's like it was on the island, of course, like it was, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
Why be miserable? Can we just
if the options are there.
have some semblance of understanding for each other?
Please, can we? Because I'm not trying to say, hey, by the way, no one in their right mind is going to choose bloodbath over walking away. Obviously, if you're given the option between the two,
then why has it been chosen so many times?
it's that snowball. It is not a distinct choice that either one of us make at any discernible point.
No, it's stubbornness and it's all
and it builds, right? Like you build, I build, it isn't like at one moment either of us sign a certificate of saying, or like sign the contract or say, okay, now I'll bloodbath. No. So acting as though there's a choice between the two is irrelevant. I'm not asking you to stay over having a bloodbath. I'm asking you, over walking away. I'm not asking you to have a bloodbath over walking away. I'm asking you to work it out over prolonging it and making it bigger.
Okay, so please excuse me if I can't exactly explain what Amber meant there. I wasn't quite sure. But what was clear was Johnny was saying when they get together, stuff goes down, so it's best if we walk away. And then I got kind of a word salad out of Amber. You guys got to understand, I'm reacting here. I'm kind of doing this live. I'm not sitting here figuring it out, editing it, thinking hard, asking around. This is my first reaction to it, and I would say word salad there. I think the important thing to take away here is that Amber's lawyer, Rottenborn, is twisting the word bloodbath and trying to make it seem as bad as possible, and obviously trying to imply that bloodbath means abuse, which it just doesn't. It means a variety of things you could sum up and explain in many different ways. It's actually kind of like a medieval phrase. And then Rottenborn tries to ask Johnny about his finger, because Johnny did say in a letter to his doctor that he cut off his own finger. However, the defense was that this was to protect Amber, and that might have been part of it. But what Johnny said was actually better than that. He said it wasn't literal. He said you can't take that literally. Why would he cut off a finger he cherishes that he's played guitar with since he was 12? Now, I've played guitar since I was actually 6, and I'll tell you something. These fingers right here are like the last thing I would ever think of hurting or cutting, aside from maybe one other thing, but you know what I mean. The point is, they're like really super important, probably the most important thing long term for my life. And to think somebody would just do that to themselves is kind of crazy. And no matter how many drugs they're on, I've been on some. I've got to say it because we're talking about drugs in this case, and I've done, a fair amount. I've done enough to know that this finger is just as important, if not more important, when you're on those drugs because you need this finger to do things you enjoy doing when you're on those drugs, like playing guitar. I really would rather not talk about drugs. However, I just find it really necessary for the people who have experienced them to come out and be on Johnny's side and say, yeah, these drugs do not make you do these things. And if you haven't taken them, then unfortunately, you can't quite say for sure firsthand. Also, it's really worth mentioning how good Johnny handles himself. I think I've got some pretty tough skin. I mean, I've gotten insulted online here for 3 years straight, all kind of shit. I've gotten actually hundreds of thousands of comments, some horrible, and I've learned to really honestly laugh at them and really, really enjoy the bad ones. And people in my real life tell me things sometimes. I'm just saying I really have thick skin, but I, in this situation, would probably be breaking down a little bit. And it's just amazing how Johnny handles himself here. He's just really cool, really calm. He stays polite. He's got to fire back once in a while and things like that. But, like, overall, 90% of the time, he's pretty polite and he is showing he is a gentleman. Now, I will say some of that audio there sounded a little rough. I mean, he got pretty pissed there, but you could get as pissed as you want. You could yell as loud as you want. That doesn't actually mean you put your hands on somebody whatsoever. And yelling and being loud isn't actually proof that you put your hands on someone. You guys, let me know what you think down below. Doing shout outs, special thanks, things like that. This clip here, this court testimony is going to be a few hours. So I wanted to touch upon a couple of parts that I found important, and I'm sure you guys know where to find the case. Everyone and their mother is streaming it right now. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. If you don't subscribe, well, I guess it'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.